In the late stage of World War II, as the situation in Germany deteriorated and they sought opportunities to turn the war around, they developed a series of doomsday weapons, among which was the flying rocket launcher, Fliegende Panzerfaust, developed by the Zeppelin Company in 1944. Similar to other equipment of the same type at the time, the flying rocket launcher was an inexpensive, mass-produced, and easy-to-use rocket interceptor, designed and manufactured by the Zeppelin Company, yes, the same company that manufactured the Zeppelin airship, which primarily produced aircraft during World War II and was involved in the development of secret weapons such as the V-2 missile. The flying rocket launcher was a parasite fighter, with a small size, a length of 6 meters, a wingspan of only 4.5 meters, a wing area of 3.8 square meters, a height of 1.5 meters, a circular cross-section fuselage, single seat, with a straight high monoplane and V-shaped tail installed at the rear. As a parasite fighter, the flying rocket launcher was planned to be used with the Messerschmitt Bf 109G fighter as the mother aircraft, but they did not adopt the form of being carried on the back or under the aircraft. Instead, the nose of the flying rocket launcher was mounted on the tail of the Bf 109, so the flying rocket launcher had a long and slender nose, like a long-nosed crocodile. The flying rocket launcher was powered by 6 Schmitting SG-34 rocket engines installed in the fuselage, with exhaust ports set on both sides of the fuselage, 3 on each side, each engine weighing 150 kilograms and providing a thrust of 4.9 knots, using ethanol as fuel. The aircraft itself weighed only 1,200 kilograms and could reach a maximum speed of 850 kilometers per hour under the propulsion of the rocket engine. The pilot flew in a prone position, with the cockpit canopy providing only front and side visibility. The combat weapons of the aircraft were very simple, with only 2 RA-65 73mm air-to-air rockets. According to the plan, the Bf 109 fighter would carry the flying rocket launcher to a certain altitude, release it near the incoming enemy bomber group, and then, under the operation of the pilot, continuously approach the bombers and launch rockets at close range to attack the target. Regardless of whether the aircraft could hit the target, it would start to return, but without a conventional landing gear, the aircraft could not land normally, and as the internal fuel was rapidly consumed, the center of gravity shifted and the aircraft lost power, making it difficult to control. Therefore, the aircraft would release a parachute at an appropriate altitude, and the ground personnel would rescue the pilot and recover the aircraft. To avoid injury to the pilot, the cockpit in which the pilot was located would separate from the fuselage, and both parts would land separately using parachutes, thus minimizing casualties and damage to the aircraft. At the time, there was another idea proposed, not to equip the aircraft with rockets, but to fill the aircraft with a large amount of high-powered explosives, and the pilot would fly the aircraft into the bomber group and then parachute to safety, while the fighter would self-detonate to damage the target. This method was essentially a suicide attack, with a very low chance of the pilot surviving. In January 1945, the Germans built a full-size model and had it inspected by a special committee. At the time, the situation in Germany was not optimistic, and they no longer had the capacity to continue the project. The aircraft model did not survive, and the aircraft we currently see at the Virginia Air and Space Museum is actually a replica, indicating that the Americans had studied this aircraft.